Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. So now let us go for the insight. On the home page, there are two parts. First part, home page, and the second part is insight. But first of all, you have to understand that insight is available only in the case of single currency. It means if you have used only the single currency, you can use the insight. Otherwise, if you have used multiple currency, when you click on this one, so it does not open this one, but instead of that one, it give a warning, or we can say reminder sort of things that your company already used more than one currency. It means you use multiple currency, so that is why it is not possible to open the insight. So please remember that insight is only possible in the case of the company which they have used a single currency only, right? How we can know whether our company is a single currency or multiple currency? So one way you can click on this one and QuickBook will remind you, or otherwise you can click on the edit, go for the preference, then find out currency, then click on the company preference, see it is there, track multiple currency in this company file. If it was yes, it means already you have used more than one currency. If it is no, it means you have used only the single currency, right? So I'm not going to use it now, so let us close this part. Now let us go for the insight, what is available in insight. In this one, or the insight itself is a sort of quick report. Quick report about the profit and loss, quick report about the expenses, quick report about the revenue, and several other areas that we can check it, right? The first thing that you can do from the inside, you can upload a logo for your company. ABC Cardano University, for example. This is the date, today's date. So you can upload any picture. For example, let us upload it. If there is any picture available, so you can upload it. For me, there is nothing. Below, there are several sections. For example, in this case, how many sections are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. How we can see each of them, so now let us see. But the first part is, of course, the first part is regarding the profit and loss. So this area basically shows the profit and loss. Profit and loss of which year? You can check it out. Profit and loss for today, for this month, today, right? Profit and loss for the fiscal quarter, profit and loss for this year, for yesterday, for the last month, and so on. You can check it out, right? So let me see, for example, profit and loss for this year. So easy way of accessing to the profit and loss of the company, right? So below you can see the information. It shows the income, and of course it shows the expenses. From income minus the expenses, you get the net income. So this is the net income of the company. Also, it showed in the form of a graph, right? So this is the expenses part, this is the revenue part, and of course the same way you can find it. And also it provides based on each month, right? It starts from January up to December. So as you can see, most of the transaction regarding my company is in which month? In the month of June, right? So total expenses is this much, total revenue is this much, and of course the net income of the company is equal to this much. But remember that this income is the total income. In this case, income simply means revenue. So this is the expenses, this is the revenue, and this is the net profit of the company. And this total income include both the income as well as the other income. It means direct income and indirect income. Both of them are included. If you see, let me open the chart of account. Okay, click on the new account. So when we say it includes all income, it means this income plus other income. So when both of them come together, it makes basically this sort of income, right? So this is the net profit of the company. You can see it in the form of the graph, right? Then below part, this part is belong to expense incomes, and this part is belong to expenses. Under income, you can see three items. Part one, you can see open invoices. How much invoices open? For example, this is the amount of invoices which are open. It does not show the number of invoices which are open or open invoices, but it shows just the amount of invoice, how much is open. For example, in this case, 3,313,403.1 outstanding on the consumers. And how much is overdue? Overdue amount is, of course, more than 2 million, around 3 million. And how much is paid within the last 30 days? Of course, this much is paid within the last 30 days. Also, we can find out this information from the other area already we have checked, and that is under the customer. You can check it from the income tracker. Even from income tracker, we can find out more information as compared to this one. Click on the income tracker. In the income tracker, not only how much is outstanding, and also it shows how many invoices are outstanding. How many invoices are outstanding? 48 invoices are outstanding. How overdue? How many invoices are overdue? 29 invoices are overdue. It means the time is reached, but this invoice are not paid by the customers. And also it shows the amount. But on that part or that report only show the amount of overdue. But this one also show the number of invoices which are overdue. And also on the right side, so paid within the last 30 days. How many invoices are paid within the last 30 days? 9 invoices are paid within the last 30 days. Not only how many open, how many overdue, and how many paid. So income tracker also show the estimates. How many estimates are there? How many sales orders are there? How many times and expenses are available there, right? So, but this is also one of the good way that show you how many invoices are open, how many overdue, and how much is, of course, this one. If you receive from the customers, definitely the amount of overdue will decrease, right? So now let me check, or let me receive from some of the customers whether this one decrease or not. It is 2,927,000, something like that. So now let us go for the received payments. Okay, first of all, let me check the overdue invoice. So from which customer we have an overdue balance? Let me check out this one. Click on the overdue. Okay. These invoices are overdue, so let me receive some of them, which they have a good balance. For example, let us receive from Mariam. How much is the amount? This is the amount. So receive a payment, right? So receive a payment and then close it. Okay, then if you want to receive more, so then you can again click on this one. See now how many invoices are overdue? 28 invoices are overdue. So let me receive from few more. For example, let me receive from Khotra as well, right? Select this one and receive payments. Then save and close. Now how many invoices are overdue? 27 invoices are overdue, right? Click on this one. Now the amount decreased to 1,447,000, something like that, right? So in this way, and also it show the balance of open invoice also decreased, right? So overdue invoice, or also we can say a type of open invoice. Open invoice means those invoices which are not paid. It might be in the current period, also it might be in this one. And also see, you can see the number of invoice when you we can say put the cursor on the on the specific area. For example, in this case, you can see how many invoices are overdue. Also, you can find that, for example, how many invoices are open, and of course, how many are paid within the last 10 days. So, within how many? 11 are paid within the last 30. On the right side, you can find out information regarding expenses. For example, for this fiscal year. Also, you can change it for this month, for the last year, and so on. Let us say, for example, now we want to check for this year. For this year, basically, this is the total of amount of expenses. And this amount of expenses are partitioned, basically. Or we can say it is classified. For example, out of this total expenses, how much is belong to cost of goods sold expenses? How much is belong to payroll expenses? How much is belong to interest expenses? And how much is, of course, belong to other accounts, right? So this is the classification of expenses. As we can see, most of the expenses are belong to cost of goods sold. After that, second higher expenses is payroll expenses, then interest expenses, then other sort of expenses. So this was a short information that you can check, right? Also, you can check it for this month, for example. For this month, this is the expenses, this is the, of course, no income. Of course, in this case, there is a loss, right? So this is the sort of information that you can check it. But of course, in most of the case, we check it for 1 year. So that is why you can click on this part. Then, if you want to check more information, then click on this one. Click next. You can see the rest of the information. Previous year income comparison. You can compare the income of this year with the previous year, right? So it says, okay, whether you want to compare the income of this month with the previous month, or whether you want to compare the income of this quarter with the previous quarter. You can compare the income of this week with the previous week, or you can compare the income. Okay, sorry. You can compare the income of this year with the previous year on monthly basis, on quarterly basis, on weekly basis, on yearly basis. If you collect on monthly basis, so you can find out, or you can compare the income of this year with the previous year. This is, for example, 2020, and this is 2019. So you can compare the income of 2020 with the 2019 on we can say on monthly basis, right? But in most of the case, of course, we can compare on yearly basis. So that is why it is the information. See, previous year fiscal year, it means 2019. How much is the information? How much is the amount of income? This is the total income for the previous year. And for the current fiscal year, it means 2020. How much is the income? This is the total income, right? So in this way, you can compare the profitability based on year basis, as well as you can find it based on monthly basis. Now, once again, let us take it quarter, right? If you take it quarter, again, you can find out information for each quarter. So this is the first quarter, the second quarter, the third one, and the fourth one, and so on. So in this way, you can compare the income, previous year income comparisons. It means income of this year can be compared with the income of the previous year. This was the information. The below part is the repeated part. Click on the next. You can find out top customers by sales this fiscal year. Top customers by sales, it means to which customer we sold more commodities, or which customer purchased more commodities or goods or services from the company. In this example, as you can see, Khotra is the topest customers. After that, for example, Bibi. And after that, Marwajan, for example. After that, after Abdul Latif. And after that, of course, we have Isamullah. This is for the fiscal year. For this fiscal year, the top customer is, of course, Khotra. But on the right side, on this case, you can check for this month itself. For this month also, Khotra, for example. If you check, for example, for the fiscal quarter, for example, again, Khotra, right? Again, for example, for today there was no sale, so that is why there is nothing. For this fiscal year, the top customer is basically here. So it is also a good sort of information for you that you can check which customer purchased more commodities from our business, right? So you can see the toppest and of course the lowest customers. This is also good information for us. Again, the below part is the repeated one. Why? Because it does not move. Then, income and expenses trends. This fiscal year to date. Income and expenses of this year up to this point. This is the income and this is the expenses, right? Income and expenses for April, income and expenses for May, income and expenses for June, for July, and so on, right? So it shows the expenses. So the blue one is the expenses and the green one is the revenue. It compares the income and expenses of each month with each other, right? It is expenses, this is the income. This is only the expenses. This is the revenue, income, expenses. Revenue and expenses. It says income, but basically it's a revenue for the company, right? We know that revenue simply means the total amount that you receive, but income simply means the amount of profit. So in this case, the income simply means the revenue. So it compares the revenue and expenses of this fiscal year, this month, and so on. Each of them can be compared properly, right? Also, for example, for the last year, last fiscal year, you can check it. In the last fiscal year, we have only information in December, right? Why? Because we have created the company in 2020. So that is why. So most of informations are available for 2020 or this fiscal year only. We don't have it for the last year. So that is why it is not available. So it is only now it is month of July. So that is why there is no information for August. But we will have, inshallah, later on. So this was this income and expenses trend. Click on the next. Okay. Expenses and income trends, that's done. Next part is basically business growth compared to the last fiscal year. It shows the growth of the business as compared to the last year, right? See, you can find out the total income. Total income for 2020 and total income for 2019. Total income in this case, once again, means total revenue. This is the total revenue for 2019-20, and this is the total revenue for 2018. How much is the revenue of 2019? It is 2 million something, but this is around 4 million. So how many percentage growth we have? We have around 70.9 percentage. We can say around 71 percentage growth. And how can you find out this growth? So there is a formula, right? Simply you can check the formula. Where is the formula? This was the formula, right? So the total income for this period minus total income of the last period divided by total income of the last period multiplied to the 100. So if you can find out the growth, it means income of this year minus the income of the last year divided by this one multiplied to 100. So you get the income of the company. You get the growth of the company. It means there is around 71% growth. Also, you can see it in the form of the numbers, right? So it is mentioned Good news, your total income has grown compared to the last fiscal year. Once again, remember that this is not the profit. Basically, this is the revenue, right? Although our business operation grown by 71 percentage, but the profitability of the company might be decreased. But this one is only regarding the revenue. Sometimes even the sales may increase, but the profitability instead of increase may decrease, right? So once again, remember that this is not the 71 percentage growth in the profitability. It is just the growth in the total revenue of the business. Then click on the next. You can find out net profit margin compared to the last fiscal year. This year, profit margin is 52.7 percentage, but the last year profit margin is equal to 63.2 percentage. What do you mean by this one, friends? It means margin, net profit margin simply means that when you sell something, let us say for example, we sell something for 100. It means out of 100, how many percentage is the profit? Out of 100, how many percentage is the profit? In 2020, it is 52.7. It means we sold something. The price that we sold, 52.7 percentage of that one is the profit of the company. But in 2019, 62.2 percentage, it means out of the total sales, 63.2 percentage is the profit. But in this year, only 52.7 percentage is the profit. As I said before, so this growth does not show the profitability of the company. If you see, although the growth is more in 2020, but the profit margin in 2020 is much less as compared to this one. See, it shows that 10.7 percentage, your net profit margin has decreased compared to the last fiscal year. How many percentage? 10.7 percentage. So net profit margin for this year is equal to this much. How can you find out? You can find out there is a formula. Net income divided by the total income multiplied to 100%, you can get the profitability, net profit margin of the company, right? One thing you have to remember while calculating the net profit margin, when we say the total income basically does not include the other income. Other income should be deducted, right? See how much is the total income in this case? Okay. How much is the total income? 3,941,330. So this income is basically not the same income as we have shown in the case of profit and loss. See the customer? See, this income is much more. This is 3,967,000, but that one is 3,941,000. Why this is so? Because this one, as I said before, this one include the income plus other income. But when we calculate the profit or the net margin, in the case of margin, so this one is only the income of the company. It does not include the other income. Or you can say from the total income minus the other income, you can get the net profit margin of the company, right? This profitability of the company. See, it is how much? 3,941,300 something. But that income was 3,967,000 something like that. Also, you can find out this information from the report as well. Go for the report, click on the financial, then click on the standard, right? And of course, then click this fiscal year, then expand it. See, this is the total income, right? This was the total income. This is the total income. Total income simply means the total income of the company. This is 3,941,330 basically. So this one is to be used for calculation of the net profit margin of the company, right? And also below we have another income as well, which is called total other income. Total other income is equal to how much? This much, right? So from the total income, when you minus this amount, you get this income itself. Or otherwise, if you want to find the total income, so this income plus this income make the total income of the company, right? So please remember this points as well. So net profit margin for this year is equal to this much. It means out of 100, $52.7 is the profit. Suppose if you sell something for 100, it means 52.7 is the profitability of the company. But in the last year, out of 100, 63.2 was the profitability of the company. So the last year profit was much more. Also, you can compare previous year expense comparisons. In the same way which you have compared the income of the company, you can compare the expenses as well with the last year, right? Previous year, and this is for the current period. This is for the last year, and this is for this year. You can compare these things as well, right? So this was the points under the insight which we could see. So you can compare the profit and loss. You can see the previous year's income. You can see the top customers. You can see the growth of the business. You can see the net margin, previous expense, and several things can be checked, right? How many column or how many sections should be here? You can click it on. You can find it from the adjustment. So you want to see profit and loss? Yes, it is ticked. So if you say no, we don't want to see the profit and loss, so you cannot find out profit and loss anymore here, right? Directly it go for the top customers. And also see the number of this section also decrease. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? Now if you click on this one, it becomes 7. See, one more. Now you can find out the profit and loss. So like this, you can click on anyone. Do you want to see top customers? No, we don't want to see it. So no more top customers. Collect, you cannot find out top customers. And also the number of those bullet points decrease, right? So again, you can see we want to see, then you can click on this one. Then the next part, of course, refresh the sections. If something is not updated yet, for example, expenses and revenue, you can click on the refresh. Then you can print it as well as you can take the save in PDF. Of course, this is a sort of report. You can print it in the form of the PDF, right, as well. So this was the information regarding the insight. But remember once again that insight is available only in the case of single currency. If you use multiple currency, definitely this section does not work. So most of the things that you have seen under this one, you can find out from the report under the financial, right? See, profit and loss standard, profit and loss details. So profit and loss by jobs, income, of course, income by details, expenses by vendors. So several things that you have seen from there, you can find out from these sections as well. But that is, of course, a sort of short report, and also it is easily understandable as compared to the other sort of the reports. Why this is so? Because it's showing the graph as well as it shows different colors. So this make it much more understandable for us.